Inside, absolutely disgusting. Not sure what's happened around the gear stick. It's like someone's dropped a little bit of penicillin down there. Stinks like a rotten badger in here. And that must be bad because I've got a blocked nose and even I can still smell it.
Today's video is sponsored by TOPDON and their amazing ARTIDIAG Pro diagnostic machine. Now you're going to see this today being used in our video as we diagnose a vehicle and showing its amazing functionality and its bi-directional controls. The link is in the description for an amazing offer on this machine with a superb discount only available to Car UK viewers. So make sure you check it out later on in today's video and get hold of yours today.
Morning all, welcome back to the channel. Today you join me as we're on a collection day, picking up cars that we've been buying. It's been a very busy Easter period. So to give you some background to it, last couple of weeks have been really quite modest actually. We sold a few cars, but we've been getting ahead of the game. We've been managing to get sort of cars back on sale, i.e. replace more than what we were selling, which is good because really in the last sort of month or two, we've been struggling to get a good number of cars on sale. So rather than getting maybe sort of half a dozen or a dozen at the most and then selling half of that stock the week later and having to replace it, not really getting anywhere. However, recently with new valet starting and a few other changes, we've managed to sort of get ahead of the game, started to get some stock up on sale. However, Easter has put that all to bed. Now, we had a decent week last week, and then the last couple of days, it's just gone absolutely insane. We're selling cars on a Wednesday, which we never do. Tuesday was busy, we've got appointments today. Oh, it's just, I didn't need this one at the moment. I suppose when I'm that ill at the moment, I'm dragging myself out in the morning to get out and do some work because I can't seem to shift some flu I've got. But yeah, anyway, nonetheless, we've got to crack on. So today we're back at Aston Barclay, picking up some bits. I was meant to be doing some filming today and doing some buying, but I can't. It's just simply I can't. I've got to get straight back and crack on, get these cars out. I've got about 6-7 cars now I need to get out in the next week or so. So I just haven't got the time to be buying, even though I do need to replace in stock. But we'll have to deal with that problem next week. However, we have got stock we've already previously bought, so that's why we're here today. First of all, we're going to be looking at is this little Hyundai i10 that I've just purchased the other day at the auction. Right, it's down here somewhere, the old little i10. Here it is. I've got two cars here today. We're going to pick up an Hyundai i10 and also a not Citroen, I keep saying Citroen, Chevrolet Trax, which is a Vauxhall Mocha, which also needs paint. In fact, both of them need paint. I don't know why I do it to myself at the moment. I seem to be getting really cheap cars, but they always seem to need paint, which is great because I've got a good paint man. But they've got that much paint we've got backed up at the moment. Honestly, if you think he sees another car, my paint man, he's going to have a stroke. But this one is a little 11 plate. It wasn't particularly that dear, it was about 1,400 quid. Obviously it's got a little bit of damage on this corner, which is causing the price to be a bit on the lower end side. One former keeper with 72,000 miles on it, so on paper it seems a good thing. That's the main issue there. We've got a problem with that bumper. We want sort of tidying up a little bit and obviously want to blow in. Probably want to do it onto the arch as well. It's been caught here on the arch and it's obviously flipped the paint off and started to rust it. So bumper and wing is a little smart repair. You know, blow that into the wing and round the corner of the bumper. The paint man will get it right. There's no worries about that, so I'm not too concerned about that. The rest of the car, actually, from memory, was actually all right. That was the worst bit of it. So I mean, I can live with just having a little bit of paint like that. It's just obviously, if we send this into paint now, you're going to be without the car probably for a good week or so, realistically, maybe slightly more because we've got that much queued. So it is obviously having an effect on how much we can get out. But that's what it is, isn't it? The other option is you start buying more cleaner vehicles, key for it, that don't need paint, but unfortunately everyone wants those and they are paying really good money for them. So my strategy has been recently to get stuff that's maybe sort of slightly over average miles, that's in good nick, or stuff that's like this where it just needs a little bit of paint, where you might get someone who's on the boot there, it's alright, got the mats in it, who's just a bit more sort of not got the decent paint man on tow really, who can sort things out for him. Anyway, right. Want a valet. That's not too bad really, we can live with that. Got a valet man at home ready in tow to sort that out. Stuff my stuff down there. Oh, have a look inside. Squeeze in just about. Will she fire? Oh, never in doubt. 2 bar of fuel as well, even better. Now these are good sellers, these little i10s. I am going to cover one of these. I might even cover this one when it's back from paint. in one of my new series I'm doing, where I'm basically doing more in-depth videos on particular makes and models of why I buy them, what you should look out for when buying them, etc. And you know, what pricing and stuff, and how I compare the prices of them, what sort of figures I should be paying for them. So I'm going to start doing that on a ruck of cars, the sort of everyday stuff that I buy. I definitely will feature an i10 and go through all the bits and bobs you need to look out for them. So without giving too much away, what you need to be looking out for in one of these, really the main ones: steering. You want to make sure you've got no notchy steering, like clunky steering, because they're quite common on Hyundais. And your clutch is the main two on these. There's a lot more you need to check on these, by the way, but they're the two basics. Clutch is alright on this, so this one's alright. Inside, it's actually quite nice. It's quite clean in here, really, other than the valley. Plastic's a decent order. It's pulling off alright. So we'll get it out on the front anyway and have a proper look at it. Got to get past the gate man first, though. Gate man's giving people grief.
When were you taking out?
I'm going to take that Chevrolet out.
Now, how long are you going to leave here for?
We'll pick it up tomorrow, that's the plan.
Alright, okay
So,
then.
that's the plan anyway. So.
We'll see you later.
Alright, see you in a minute.
Have a nice day, sir.
Thank you. Right, part of that one up for now. Quite pleased with that, to be honest with you. That drives very well. I'm going to go home in that. Get it queued up for paint. I think that's the next thing. Right, we'll go get this Chevrolet Trax out, which is a very interesting car, because I've never seen one of these, never mind own one. But obviously I've done my research on it. It's effectively a Vauxhall Mocha. Anyway, it does need a bit of work, so we'll go have a quick gander at it. Right, we'll find this Chevrolet. Although I have just actually noticed, this is how mind playing tricks on me. This is how sort of forgetful I am at the moment. This is mine as well. I completely forgot about this. Little Mariva. I need to pick this up. I might even get this out today. I haven't forgot about this, I don't know. Too much going on. I bought this recently. It was only about 1,800 quid on a 64 plate. 87,000 miles. Good sellers these. They can be a little bit finicky. Doors and stuff on them can play up on them, wiring and stuff. Got these strange suicide doors on them. But they are good news. So a few little scuffs on it will come up. No paint, that's the main thing. No paint to worry about. Just want a little bit of fettling here and there and a bit of buff up and touch-ins. It'll make a car. So might get that out in a minute. 64 plate as well. It's a bit getting slightly new. I am every day. Let's see if we can find this Chevrolet. Here it is, right at the bottom, in Deaf Corner. Oh, nice Bentley there. Look at that beast. Wow, a nice thing. Nice Bentayga. Mind you, I see so many of these living in Crewe. They don't really come that sort of special when you see them every single day. But I can appreciate them. A lovely thing that is. Bit out of our league, should we say? Although we have got a nice 4x4 or crossover, should we say? Look at this beast. The old Chevrolet. Now she's not looking her best. Does want a lot of paint. This zip tie on the front bumper there, like that. We definitely need a new chin spoiler. Got the cover broken there on the fog lamp. We need to organise one of those. That could be tricky. If not, we're going to be. I don't think we can repair it, to be honest. We'll have to try and locate one from somewhere. And its tailgate, can't really see it, but it's in a massive puddle. It's really bad. It wants paint. It's been caught down the back here as well. Although that does seem to be coming out. Although I don't think these little scratches well, so it's going to end up probably having the paint in there. Trim come off there. Yeah, it's just a horrible mess. It wants a lot of paint. I was aware of this. This is why it was so cheap. Bumper there again, corner. A little bit down there, that's a scuff. That's coming out, so that's not too bad. Tailgate, look at the state of that tailgate. I mean, look at it. Someone's even had to go up painting it previously to try and, I don't know, some repair on it. Oh my word, look at that. So once tailgate painting completely, front end, corner, two doors. It was like easily probably 600 quid's worth of paint. It's a big in this one, but it was 1,300 quid on a 14 plate, and I'd never get any too near these Mochas. This is Citroen Trax. Sorry, I keep saying Citroen Trax. Chevrolet Trax. I've got a Citroen Traction in my head for some reason, but no, Chevrolet Trax. Inside, absolutely disgusting. Not sure what's happened around the gear stick. It's like someone's dropped a little bit of penicillin down there. Stinks like a rotten badger in here. And that must be bad because I've got a blocked nose and even I can still smell it. Oh, let's see if it starts up. Oh god, it stinks in here. It's definitely going to need a bit of work, this. Val's going to do his magic. A little bit of a shudder then when I started, like a gearbox or an engine mount. See if we can do that again. There you go. Yeah, there's probably a mount gone there somewhere. TPMS light flashing. I'm going to abuse this thing, ain't it? I'm going to stay it in the back all mouldy and horrible. Oh, it's got, did have an engine light on when I bought it. I remember seeing an engine management light on. Engine wise, it'll be a 1.6 petrol, which is a same engine you get in the Astras and stuff. So I mean, I know the engine quite well, so I'm not too worried about that, to be honest. Let's see what she drives like out of here. I like the dash arrangement. I quite like that. We've got some horrible banging going on the near side. Shaking like a shitting dog at the moment, it is. It's got a stutter as well, like a misfire. It's not a good car, this. It's not a good car at all. It wants a lot of work on it. Right, I've got it outside. It's not too bad, as in going through the gears and the engine. It's got a little misfire, which is on these is usually a coil pack. Let's pop the bonnet and have a quick look at it. I'm assuming it's got the Astra engine in, which I'm accustomed to. If not, then I may have got myself in a little bit of miver here. But it sounds like the Astra 16 valve XCP or something like that engine we call them. Yeah, same engine. Yep, no worries. Can smell oil straight away, so we've got a rock cover gasket leaking. You can see the rock cover gasket's leaking, it's horrible. Typical Vauxhall this year. They can also leak on the oil coolers as well. You can just see the oil filter there on the right hand side. Behind that exhaust manifold there's a little oil cooler and they can leak straight onto the exhaust. Although I'd say this one's probably just rock cover gas because you can actually see it where it's been leaking on the cover there. So we'll do that first. Yeah, it's what it is, isn't it, I suppose. Why have I bought it? Well, it was cheap. And it's one of those cars I'm willing to have a gamble with because it needs a lot of work. Paint mostly, and prep, trim bits, plastic, stuff like that. A sheet load of a ruck of paint, coil pack service, probably suspension work on it as well. But at 1,300 quid, the retail on that car is 4,500 quid. Now, it's a long way off that point because, like I said, we need to paint near enough pretty much a side here and a bumper. Literally, we're going to end up painting probably the bottom of the two doors, a wing, and blowing into this bumper. Probably going to end up painting the bumper. We need a tow and eye cover. Might as well paint the bumper because it's like I said, it's just you've got here to do anyway. This side actually is all right, which is some relief, and then a tailgate. So yeah, we're on some money there. The paint man's going to book himself a nice little holiday with that one. The numbers will still stack up because if you spent, let's say, spent £1,000 on it, and probably will need to spend £1,000 on it. Time you get all the trim bits and the paint and probably suspension work, tyres, God knows what else you need to do to it. Cam belt maybe. Oh, look at the state of that interior. It's horrible. But if you spend £1,000 on it, it owes you 2-3. It's got a £4.5 retail on it. I mean, I've had a look on the Auto Trader. I can't find a single one less than £4.5 in the UK, and that's probably the best colour to have one in, to be honest with you. It's better than a black, it's probably better than a silver, but like I said, we're miles off that. It's a gamble. See, I say I'm willing to take a gamble on some cars. If we can throw a ruck of money at it, make it right, I'll be pleased. But at the moment, it just looks a shed, so we'll see how we get on with that. Right, you join me in the I-10 on the way back. I have to say, it's been a really, really pleasant journey. The car's driving absolutely superb, nice and straight. We've got no knocks or bangs on the suspension, it's going for the gears well, clutch bite's nice, the engine's pulling well. I'm made up with it. It only looks like so far we've just got that bodywork to deal with, bar one thing which we're going to have a look at when we get back at the unit, and it's quite a simple one really, I hope it's a simple one. We've got an ABS light on, an anti-lock braking system light, or as I like to call it, the absolutely bloody super light. So if the absolutely bloody super light's on, everything's absolutely bloody super. But it needs addressing, so we'll get the scanner on that and find out, get on my live data and see which one it is. I'm hoping it's just a sensor, usually is on these. Now I was going to talk to you about why I've sort of bought that Chevrolet Trax and some of my thinking and sort of logic behind it. However, a few moments ago I've just had a call from the office. We've got to go and have a look at a potential breakdown. So I've sold a car to a customer about 3 or 4 weeks ago. A little, actually, an i10, one of these, and it's not starting. So we're going to go round the corner now and have a look at it, because it's only just round here from where I am. So we're just going to pop in. Luckily I've got me the jump pack with me, the old mighty JS 1500 we're using today. So I'll have a try with that. I think I've even got my bag as well. I've got a battery tester as well, so we can just rule out the battery. On i10s, it usually is the battery, although I have had a few starter motor issues as well. So it could be a sticky starter motor. I mean, the customer's only had it 3 or 4 weeks, so she's been really nice about it or anything like that. Doesn't seem to be ringing up, kicking off or anything. Obviously just wants it sorting. So we'll go out and we'll have a look and see if we can get it up and running for her again. And if not, well, obviously we'll have to get it wheeled in. But say we'll go pop round now and have a quick look. See you now. Oh, right. Oh, that was straightforward, actually. Battery. Threw me a bit, actually, because he had a relatively... Well, it looked a decent battery on it. It had a Yuasa 3000 on it, which is quite a decent battery, mate. Although saying that, most modern batteries now are pretty rubbish. They don't seem to be as good as they used to be. I don't know why. But anyway, just checked it over. It had 12.5 volts in it before we started it on the tester. And then started it again with a jump packet, old JS 1500, flied straight up, no problem. And then tested it again, and it had 14.8 volts, 14.7 volts going into it from the alternator. So it's just a battery issue. And the more you looked at the battery, on top of the terminal, it was all old grease on it. So just one of those things. It needs a battery. I do cover batteries under my warranties. A lot of companies wouldn't do that. I mean, you might get, if you went dead in a few days, I think most places would, but after a month, would they bother? Most garages? I don't think a lot of them would, to be honest. I think they'd probably say it's a wear and tear item. But to me, because I do my own warranties, I just decide that I'm just changing batteries. I just can't be doing with the headache, because you imagine that, you know, this one's local, so this isn't too bad. But if you sell a car and it's 150 miles away, and the customer's then ringing up a warranty company because the car's not starting, it'll end up costing you more than the cost of the battery anyway. Time someone's recovered it, taking it to a garage, and they want a diagnosis fee, then they'll overcharge them for a battery. I just don't need that. So I'd rather just have my own warranties in-house, so when I have a problem like this, I can just deal with it. And a battery, I mean, I'm not going to split hairs over a £50 brand new battery. Just get it on. You know, you've ruled out a problem, and you're giving the customer as well a battery with a 2-3 year warranty on it. So effectively, it's job done. Anyway, going back to my Chevrolet Trax, what was my sort of reckoning behind that? Now, in first impressions, it's a scruffy car, really scruffy car. It wants probably 2 doors painting on one side, the whole front bumper painting. The rear bumper's also got a bit of a ding in it, but that'll heat and come out. There's also a little mark in the rear quarter. It's just a mess, to be honest with you. Tailgate, obviously. So there's a fair whack of paint there, fair whack of paint. But it was one of those cars, when I was buying it, that no one really was showing that much interest. There was me and one other person online looking at it, and they probably online thought it would look better online than it actually did in person. But yeah, it was not a nice, attractive car. But I've never owned or sold them. I've never sold a Mocha. I know that's a Trax, it's the same car. I know the good news. I know the popular. And like I said, I did my research on that, and you can't get any for less than £4 grand. And it's a nice colour. Well, paint's coming off it, but it will make a car if we get the paint right. And everything else is just superficial. I mean, bits of plastic trim here and there. It's got a little bit of a misfire. It's to be a coil pack, it always is on those Vauxhalls. Stuff like that doesn't really worry us. And the fact that we've got a good paint man in tow can sort all that out doesn't worry me too much either. It means that I have the opportunity to buy those type of cars that most other dealers probably don't want to get involved in. And to be honest with you, I wouldn't want to get involved in. I don't usually want to be buying stuff that needs loads of paint. But at the moment, you have to sort of accept the fact that if you need stock, you are going to have to buy stuff that needs paint, no matter how hard you try. Because if you just try and buy stuff without, needs nothing doing to it, everyone wants that, and everyone's going to pay a premium for it. So it's just about having a little bit of a different edge. But the money's got to stack up as well. I don't want to be spending loads of money painting a car just to make 500 quid out of it. That's going to, you know, all the hassle of it. You want to be making a good chunk of money. You know, get risk for reward. That's what it's about. It's not about being greedy. It's risk for reward. If I'm spending a lot of money on that car, getting it painted, trusting a man to paint it, getting all those trim bits organised, getting underneath it, getting your hands dirty, getting it serviced and prepped and right, and all sorts of other things I'm going to need to do to it, a good old fair few days, get that car right. You know, you need to have a good reward out of it. Otherwise, what's the point? Right, we're back at the unit. So we need to
first of all, before we get it on the ramp, have a look at this ABS issue. Because we're going to need to order a part, and also need to make sure it's not something more serious, like an ABS pump fault or something like that. So we need to scan the car. We've got just the tool for the job. Actually, a brand new tool has been sent from our partners at TOPDON, and I've been looking forward to this one for a while. This is a new ARTIDIAG Pro machine. Now this is an absolute game changer. We've had art machines on in the past. We've had the smaller one, the 600, real good entry level machine. I've also had the 800 BT, the wireless one, which is the one we use pretty much every day. However, this one is even more advanced. This is a real proper professional workshop machine. However, it's at real handy money. It's really good price for what you get. I mean, I'd give like this. What this is doing, honestly, a few years ago, go back 4 or 5 years ago, for an equivalent Bosch snap-on machine, you'd pay £5 for what this can do. This is brilliant. What this is different is it's actually got a lot more functions, a lot more manufacturers, but it's also got bi-directional control on it. So whereas your general diagnostic machines with some TOPDON, they'll do all your usual scanning, your ABS, your airbags, they'll do DPF stuff. Brilliant. You know, what they do is absolutely brilliant. And this machine can do all that as well. You can do all, you know, I've got listed, just endless. All your service resets, electronic brakes, DPS for diesels and petrols. Yes, petrols do have DPS in some cases. You've got airbag problems, do battery resets, it'll do traction control problems, it'll deal with tyre pressure faults, NOx settings, it'll change languages, EGR resets, coolant bleeds, AdBlue faults, automatic gearbox faults, suspension faults, injector coding, throttle adaptation, start-stop problems, windows, sunroofs, immobilizers. It'll even do some keys as well, some coding as well. So loads and loads of tech on here. But crucially, what this is quite good at is also it'll do bi-directional control. So it'll actually you can test components which you can't do on the other machines. So you can do all the adaptations and stuff like that and functionality, but being able to actually test components, that is crucial. Because let's say on this I got a faulty window, I can go in with this machine and I can test every single window individually and see what feed and powers to it, and actually sort of fix and find faults, which is brilliant, which normal machines don't necessarily do unless you start spending some real handy money on stuff. Again, like EGRs, testing even EGRs, open and closing, nightmare. You know, you can't get the car to do that. If you've got one of these machines, you could actually physically open and close the valve, see if it's stuck. Auxiliary water pumps, a lot of cars have got dual water pumps now, electric water pumps, it'll test that. Honestly, there's so many functionalities. I've been using it this week, and it's been brilliant. We've diagnosed a couple of things that otherwise we'd be sort of guessworking on. Anyway, let's plug it in and just have a look at this ABS situation, because we can do some functionality on that as well, and see if we can obviously diagnose it. Okay, right, we've got the TOPDON fired up now and the car fired up. This is the main screen. So you've got, it's quite simplistic really, it's really straightforward to use. This is the main screen, so like I said, you've got on here the diagnosing, so you've got general diagnosis, so that actually go into specific manufacturers and makes and models. We've got general OBD, so if you've just got an engine light on, so it's very simple, just press that, you can just go straight through to an OBD, like a quick scan. We've got battery voltage, so we can even test battery voltage on these vehicles. So literally I can press battery voltage, and we can actually do a test on there, do drop tests and stuff, which is quite good, handy. That's a real good little feature for it, which you don't usually get on some diagnostic machines. We've also got upgrades as well, so we can click on that and it connects to the Wi-Fi. It'll upgrade for us. We've got 2 years free updates for this machine as well. Servicing functions, so if we go into that's specific, you know, if we want to carry out certain functionalities, like I said, there's so many there, we won't go through them all again, but you can see there's loads and loads and loads of different things that we can calibrate and change or stuff like that. It's just full of useful functionality there, and most of this probably won't ever use, but what a great tool to have, especially if you're in a garage and that, you're more likely to use them. Diagnose, so let's click onto this now, because we need to get into this Hyundai. Now we could just press auto detect and it will probably pick the VIN up straight away and do that for us, but just to show you, you've got a top bar here, so you can actually just go straight through to, you know, recently checked, or American cars, European cars, Asian cars, or you can check the history. So obviously this is an Asian vehicle. Just click on that, obviously it's touchscreen by the way. Go down to Hyundai. Hope you can see this clearly. The sun's a bit bright. Gives you the latest software we've got on the system there for Hyundai Diagnostics. Click OK. Click on the 16 pin. This will do multiple different vehicles. It's got a plug kit with it as well. Big case. So you can actually scan really older cars as well that might have non-standard 16p OBD. So that's some of your old BMs and Mercs and stuff like that, which is really handy. So you can actually be used on vehicles from, you know, years and years ago. We'll click on manual search. You could just do automatic if you wanted to. General area, USA, Canada, we're in general area. And then we can pick which model it is. Now this is obviously a Hyundai i10. So we go down to here.
couple of options on the i10. I think it's that one there, PA, there we go. Early one. This is a 2011 plate, click on that. Engines on these are the 1 litre 1112. This is a 1.2, which is the most common. And then we've got a few options. We've got health report, which will do a health report of the whole car. We can just go into individual systems. So for instance, if we just want to check the ABS system, we can just go into ABS, so we don't have to do a full scan. We click on system select as well, we can actually go into individual ones. So we'll go into ABS here. We need to, first of all, read the fault codes. Let's read that. And there we go. Straight away, we've got a speed sensor issue. So that's front right-hand performance intermittent. So C1204 historic. I mean, to be honest with you, every time we turn the car off on these and start it up again, it's going to cancel a code. But we're driving it for a couple of minutes, it's going to throw that code on. So we can do a code search. For instance, we could search that code if you're unsure, and it will actually compare it in its database and give you a better sort of understanding of what it is and give you some more info, which is really handy, especially if you're a bit more novice-y. So obviously I know what that is. It's a front right-hand ABS sensor, which is really common on these. Now we can actually confirm diagnosis by going on the data streams. We've got data stream available. Click on that now. And then we can pick what we want out of the data stream. For instance, now if we're just going to go down to find the individual sensors, so we don't need to worry about the lamps. We've got all the different valves as well in the ABS pump you can actually check on. But we just go on to the sensors. We want, saying there's an issue with the right front. So let's click right front and left front, for instance. Click on OK. So okay, now we've got up the values in kilometres of those two sensors. So theoretically now, if we drove this car, what we're going to see is we're going to see one side basically becoming either not working at all, or more likely in this case is more intermittent. Because the sensor's sort of working and going out, and then sort of as it gets up to speed, it's eventually then sort of realising it's basically out of sync with all the rest of them, and that's where it's thrown up an error. So I don't think by sort of moving this backwards and forth now, we're going to see really any sort of real difference in those sensors, because it's probably still sort of working, but it's just not really, the performance of it's just not really up to it. So if we move backwards and forwards now, it'll probably stay in sync. Yeah, so you see it's actually in sync, that, so it's actually still working. Now what will happen is if we go on a run and actually record this data, what we'll find is that the right front sensor is lagging behind, and we can do that by actually recording this. So we've got a record button there, so we can record actually as we're going along, and we can then report it and keep it in our saved history, so we can actually see firsthand what is causing the issue and look at it on a graph. So I'll just quickly just demonstrate that. I'll be back in 1 sec. Okay, so I've been for a drive, I'm now back on the main screen. I've still got this plugged in, back on the home screen, and if I go into data, and then it now recorded that report there. We've actually got some actual report we can actually physically see, but we just go on to the recording, you can actually show you what I mean. There's the recording we've just done, and then we pick the two sensors we've just been looking at, and then actually now what we can see is here, I'll just play back this recording. What you'll see is as we're driving, see the bottom number there is our supposedly faulty sensor. The top sensor is the opposite side, which we know is working all right. So if we look there now, what you'll start to see is that is the lag between the top number and the bottom number. They should both be the same. So obviously, you know, they're both running at the same speed. So what we shouldn't be seeing is what we're seeing now is where it's lagging behind and giving a different reading. Now, when you first start the car, because it's obviously still picking up a bit of a voltage, the light's staying out, but then when you drive it, after a while, obviously the ECU is detecting that there's obviously an issue with that sensor because it's lagging behind, so eventually we'll throw the ABS light on, which is what it's doing. You can see there now the difference, it's just always slightly behind on it, so that is definitely confirming that the right front driver's side ABS sensor is faulty.
So we diagnosed the ABS fault, we know exactly what we're getting on with there. We'll get this on the ramp in a minute and just have a quick look underneath, make sure we've got no hidden nasties or anything like that, and have a little bit of chat about maybe sort of what it might potentially worth this car. Is it a pup or not? If anyone's interested in one of these machines, the ARTIDIAG Pro, maybe more sort of maybe your mechanics out there, maybe you're amateur mechanics and you're doing a bit more functionality, you want to be able to test things and you want some of the best kit out there. Honestly, I think for the value for money, that is superb. That is a proper machine. That's a professional machine. And like I said, a few years ago, we would have given thousands of pounds for tech like that. This machine, standard retail, is $399, which you compare it to its rivals. I mean, I've bought the rivals from companies like Autel and stuff. They're a fair few £100 more expensive for exactly the same type of kit. I mean, they're not doing anything differently, to be honest with you. However, this is a fraction of that cost. At $399, I think it's really good value, but it gets better because we've got a special offer, and it is a special offer only for this channel on Car UK, which is you get a discount of 65 quid off thanks to TOPDON. I'll put the promo code here. It's a bit of a strange code we got to use, but if you put that code in, use our link in the description. The link is in the description. Click on description, the link's there. It'll take you through to TOPDON's account on eBay where they're sold, and basically you have to go through to order it. So it'll come up at $3.99, but don't worry, when you go onto the order page, there's a voucher code at the bottom. Type that in the description, as you'll see here, and you'll get 65 quid off. You'll get it at 335. Massive discount. There isn't any better machine out there for less money. That is a proper machine. If I was starting a garage tomorrow, I need a machine to do pretty much 95% of what I need to do. That is the machine I am buying. It's superb. That is our #1 go-to machine at the moment. Like I said, it's a brilliant kit. 2 years free updates on it as well. Get yourself one ordered. The discount code is available till the 16th of April, so you've got quite a bit of time to get yourself one ordered. So get yourself one ordered today.
Right, we've got the i10 in the air now. Done a little bit of fettling on it already. Basically, obviously we've got this damage here. And this arch was quite badly damaged. It was all bent round. So we've just, mechanics just basically just sort of pulled it back and got it sort of level. So now the body shop man, or paint man, can get on with that. He can obviously fill that, and then he'll repair all this and then blow it down into the bumper, because it's got a few scratches here as well. So it'll end up being a nice repair. So we'll catch up with that in one of my update videos soon. Underneath, not too bad on one of these, to be fair. They're not too bad on these usually. Like I say, we've got a little bit of... We'll get a torch somewhere. We got a torch. There we go. Right, so it's not too bad. We've got a little bit of surface corrosion on the rear axle. It's quite common on i10s. We've got to bear in mind this is, what, 14 years old? So you are going to have a little bit of surface corrosion. We usually tidy these up anyway, so as a rule of thumb, we'll usually rub all these down and just kind of black them all off. We usually use a Schultz on it, or a Tetra Schultz or something like that, just to smarten them up more than anything, and just sort of help preserve them a bit better. It's had some brake pipes on it by the looks of it. You can tell there by new pipes, because they're copper. Someone's replaced them, although the clip there is not the best. I'm going to change that clip. And again, this side, again, what's the clip's looking at? But so it's had some brake pipes on it. See the axle on the back there's a little bit of surface rust on it, but we'll clean them up, see how they are. Same with the springs, we'll just clean them up. That one looks like it's had a spring at some point. It's a bit fresher than the other side. Floor pan's quite solid on that. It's not too bad. Again, both sides quite solid. They're not usually renowned for rot on the body, these. You can get a bit of corrosion on the subframes. I've seen these in the past. I have to say, over a little bit of scaling for a 14-year-old car, that's not too bad. A little bit of surface corrosion on that suspension arm there. We'll give that clean up. This side's not as bad, but then overall not that bad really for a car this age. What you expect to see. Exhaust system's in pretty good nick really. Just a bit aged, but it's not holed or any blows or been repaired at any point or anything like that. It's alright under here, to be fair. It looks pretty normal, you expect to see for a car of this age and mileage. I have noticed one of the tyres this side, we've got a little bit of wear on the inside edge there, so definitely wants a tyre on it. And I'll probably get it tracked as well, get a bit of tracking done on it. I didn't notice any tracking out, but it's probably just towing out slightly, causing that problem. It's not too bad. Quick look at the discs and pads. A little bit of a lip on them discs. Pads, I can't quite see them from the outside. Inside, there's a little bit of meat on them. They're about halfway. Might throw a set of discs and pads on it, how cheap they are. So yeah, so overall, it's not too bad underneath, to be honest. There's not a great deal of work to be done on this, to be fair. Just a bit of a clean up job, a few little clips and stuff like that want sorting out, and yeah, that's really it. Body shop job. Not much else. I'm quite impressed with that actually. Mechanically, it's pretty sound.
So overall, not a bad little car, the little i10. I'm quite pleased with it. They've got a bit to spend on it. Like I said, we're going to have to put a set of brakes on it, a tyre at least, a bit of tracking. Got to do the paint as well. So probably the paint, time to put the tracking on it as well, some brakes, a service kit. We need an ABS sensor, a few little bits and bobs underneath as well. Really easy, going to be spending best part of probably £300 minimum just to get those bits done. We give $16.50 for the car with the fees. So there's a couple £100 worth of fees there. But at the end of it, I think we'll have a pretty decent car. Money-wise, what will we get for it? Well, we saw one quite recently on a 12 plate. We got 2,995 for it. This is pretty similar. I think this is done about 75,000 miles. I'm trying to remember now. But roughly around that mileage. It's a one-formula keeper car, again, with full history. So we should be getting, I mean, it's a year older, but we should be getting somewhere near that. I could see this at 27.95 all day long. They sort of float around the 22 to 28.95 type territory, 2,995 territory, these i10s around 2009 to 2012. Obviously mileage dependent. But that's pretty much bang on average miles for one of these, so it shouldn't be hanging around too long. And like I say, when it's painted and looking its best, we should easily flog this. I'd be amazed if this is on sale for more a week or so. Profit-wise, it could see us somewhere in the region of £1,000, but obviously we've got to pay tax on that as well. We've got to pay VAT or VAT margin, so we've got to take about 16.6% roughly out of what we paid for it. 1,400 and something quid it'd be before the fees. You have to work it out without boring you, and then obviously the sale price. So we're going to be 180, 200 quid in tax as well to deduct out of it. But a nice margin. They say nice sort of staple margin we expect to get out of a car with this much work you're going to have to put into it. So we'll see how we go with it. Hopefully we'll make a nice little shilling out of it. And hopefully we can make money out of that Chevrolet Trax as well. We'll keep an eye on that as we go forward, because that is obviously going to be with us probably for at least a month or so until we can probably get that on sale. And hopefully I made the right call. So let me know your thoughts on that in the comments. Thank you for watching this video, guys. Don't forget our offer on the ARTIDIAG Pro machine and the discount code in the description. You can find it there. The offer is open, I think, to the 16th of April. So make sure you get hold of your machine with a massive £65 discount, unique to Car UK viewers as well. Thanks again, guys, and I'll see you all in the next one.